Nate? Thanks for being here. Obviously a big week for us. Coming off of a really good win over a team I think is playing extremely well in Vanderbilt. They're finally getting healthy, and Stephanie's doing a great job with them. I thought they came in and really competed well against us, and you know, we were really good, I thought, in the second half. Got better defensively a little bit as far as turning them over. We still didn't. 55% field goal percentage defense is not good, and I think it was pointed out they were above 50 in every quarter, which is pretty much unheard of for us. So we got to get better in that area, dealing with an LSU team that is not the same as the one we left 6 games ago. You know, to their credit, they I think they had a player meeting after we left them, and led by some seniors or a senior, and they've not been the same since. They're 4-2 with both losses on the road at Kentucky by 5 and I think A&M by 4. And so they're playing really well. Nikki does a tremendous job, her and her staff, and those kids are playing at a really high level. So we've got our work cut out for us on Thursday night against a really, really good team, a team that will be in the NCAA tournament. And you know, we're going to have to play better than we did the other night, I think, defensively. And, again, offensively, we've been okay. You know, we left some points on the board with free throws the other day, as well as missed layups. I counted 5 missed layups in the first half alone watching film. And so we've got to do a better job of finishing with contact. And, you know, that's just something our guards have got to take pride in. So we'll get ready today and tomorrow. Kids had yesterday off, and we'll get ready for another great team coming in here on Thursday night, and what hopefully will be a special night for our seniors.
I know you've talked several times about Tiara maybe being banged up a little bit. She made reference at Alabama that she felt okay, but it does seem that she is a little banged up. She's taken some falls, and I know she obviously takes a beating every game with 2 or 3 players on her. How concerned are you about her health moving forward as this season gets elongated and they start getting into tournament play and things like that?
Yeah, I'm very concerned about Tiara. She is the focal point of every team that we're playing right now, and you know, some teams in some instances she's just being defended unfairly. I mean, you know, she's being bent over, shoved in the back. It's just hard right now. All I can say is it's hard to be Tiara McCowan. It's frustrating for me as a coach, seeing what I'm seeing and knowing that that's a young lady. That is somebody that's blessed with an incredible talent. She's an All-American. It's just hard being her right now, and I'm really, you know, I'm concerned about her. As I've said, I'm concerned about her. I'm concerned about her health. I'm concerned about how sometimes she's being attacked, and it's very concerning. Again, that's a young lady, and she's been blessed with an incredible skill set and talent, and it's just hard being her right now. You know, I'm really glad she's a senior, because it's not changing for her, and you know, it's time for her to move on, because it's just really hard.
What allowed you to get off to such a good start down there in Baton Rouge, and how do you try to replicate that for Thursday?
Well, it started with our defense. You know, it started with our defense, and we really set the tempo early. And let me go back to what I just said about T. When I say it's time for her to move on, it's a lot like Shaq. When he was a sophomore, Dale Brown told him he needed to go to the league, and he wasn't a senior. Well, T's a senior, and so when I say that, it's a lot like that instance. you know, if she was a junior, I'd probably say the same thing that Dale Brown told Shaq, hey, you need to go to the league. Because that's where I am with her. I just feel like she's taking a beating every night, and a lot of it is just, it's unjust. And that's my kid. I've got to defend her. I'm in her corner, and you know, it's just hard for her right now. So I want to make sure that you guys understand that it's just really difficult for her. It's hard to be her. Bottom line, it's just hard to be Tierra McCowan. So back to the LSU question again. It started on the defensive end for us. We got going in transition. I think Andy made a shot or two early, some threes, but we really got out and ran, and we turned them over a little bit. But our field goal percentage defense was really special, and I think they scored 2 buckets the first quarter.
You mentioned the seniors after the Ole Miss game, that you want them to be a little selfish with the history they have there for the taking if they finish this season the way they could. Have you seen that mentality out of them in the days since? Have they been a little more selfish and taking the reins in that regard?
You know, I think I don't know that I've seen them be more selfish. I think they've been really focused all year. I think 25-2, y'all, is a tremendous accomplishment with 4 new starters. I think we all have to sit back and take notice of the job that Jasmine Holmes has done leading this team as the point guard, with the chemistry that we have with this team, knowing that we've got 4 new starters for the 3rd year in a row, and 2 of our starters are first years to our program. That's an extremely challenging and difficult thing to do, and it's very commendable on her part to see and know what she's done. She had 6 assists, no turnovers, and 5 steals on Sunday in the Southeastern Conference. She continues to lead the country in assist-to-turnover ratio. How she's not on the Lieberman Award watch list, I have no idea, because the most important stat for a point guard is the W and then the assist-to-turnover ratio. That's your job if you're a point guard, and there is nobody doing it better than Jasmine Holmes at Mississippi State on a 25-2 team, ranked 6th in the country. And it's crazy to me. It's absolutely crazy that she's not on that list. And but nonetheless, I think when you look at where we are and what this team has accomplished to date, it's pretty amazing. Again, my staff gets a lot of credit for what they've been able to do in developing these kids in their skill set and their position play, and then again just getting them to play together in such a short period of time is so hard, y'all, in a team sport like this.
To follow up on Jazz's leadership, as the entire group, do they have the command of the team to take it over when elimination basketball comes here in 2 weeks?
Well, I think you got to want to be in that position. You got to want that responsibility. You know, as a senior, as a point guard, as a senior point guard, I think there's a tremendous amount of responsibility that comes with that type of attitude and approach. And I'm hopeful that our seniors will take that approach. They should. They're good enough, but they also know that on any given night it can be really bad. You know, we've experienced that too on our bad nights, and so, you know, you want them to take the bull by the reins, you know, the horse by the reins, and I'm hopeful that they'll do that here down the stretch.
As someone who doesn't really know who's on the schedule after the game that's in front of you, do you ever talk about when things are on the line like they are on Thursday, when you have a chance to win SEC championship again? I know it's not outright yet, but there is something on the line. Do you ever talk about that in games like that? You know, I know you don't like to talk about things that are in the future, but with something on the line, do you preach about that pregame to your players?
I think they're smart enough to know what's going on without me having to preach about it. You know, I think they know there's championships in front of us and on the line and what's at stake. My biggest concern on Thursday is I want these seniors to play in front of 10,500 and have a great game and have a memorable night. And if they do that, then the rest of it will take care of itself. These kids deserve it. Jazz, Tierra, and Zion have a chance to get to number 124, and it's what they've been able to accomplish in their careers is really, really special.
We're sitting here last Tuesday in February, and we're talking about the last regular season home game. Has the season gone by just really fast for you? It just seems like it really has.
Well, some weeks are faster than others, but, you get in the grind of January and February, and, if once you can blink your eyes and it'll be like it is right now. And, I stay up here a lot. Sometimes when I am at the house in the mornings and I leave, Holly will say, well, I'll see you in April. And that's kind of the life in the fishbowl we live in. But so unfair to families and wives and spouses of coaches because January and February is such a long, hard grind. And, that's the thing we forget about with these players, y'all. You look at your freshmen, they're usually done by now in their careers. Their high school careers every season. They're done by mid to late April. And so now they're now in the meet. This is really the go time for us. This is when we got to get hot, stay hot. You're playing for a lot, playing for championships, NCAA tournaments, all that. That's when it's really, really you can start locking down and playing well. So for them, it's a whole different deal. 6 more weeks of intensity that you've never experienced. Well, then think about my seniors. They've done this every year they've been here, played into late March, their freshman year, and then April, their sophomore and junior years. We're the only sport on campus that starts the first day of school with conditioning and weights, and if we're doing our job, you're doing it all the way to April. Only sport. And no spring break, no fall break, no Thanksgiving, no Christmas. It's so draining on your student athletes. And again, that's why this time of year, a lot of teams will fall by the wayside because they can't do it. They're just not tough enough. And it seems like our kids, our teams have always been able to fight through that time and that lull when, you might drop 2 or 3 in a row. We've been able to get through that. And so my biggest concern right now going into Thursday is it's eerily similar to 2 years ago. And certainly you don't want that to happen again. And I don't want it to happen because my seniors deserve a special night, man. Those kids have been so important to our program. They've meant so much to us, to our community. And I just want it to be a really memorable night for them.
Anything else? Thank you, Coach.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it. Praise the Lord and go Dogs.